salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll have the clerk read the roll call.
Whereas Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, commonly known as the Open Public Meeting Act, requires that all meetings of public body be open to the public, and whereas Section 7A provides that the governing body has the discretion to prohibit and regulate the active participation of the public at any meeting, and whereas it is the desire of the governing body to comply with the provisions of this act and at the same time to conduct its business in an orderly and expeditious manner. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Maplewood that it does hereby prohibit, except as set forth in a formal agenda, active participation in the deliberations of the governing body by the public, and except as otherwise prescribed by law, does limit the public to observation of the actions and discussions of the governing body at all of its regular and special meetings.
So moved.
Second. Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. Limbrick?
Yes.
Mr. McGehee?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes, and I'm going to ask you if you would just call the roll too. Just call the names again, just so we can say that we're here.
Ms. Adams? Here. Mr. Daffis?
Here.
Mr. Limbrick?
Here. Good night, CC.
Mr. McGehee?
Here.
Mayor DeLuca?
Here, thank you. And then just let me read this. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of regular meetings on the bulletin board of the municipal building, by mailing the annual notice of regular meetings for 2018 to the News Record and Star Ledger in December 2017, and by filing said notice in the office of the Township Clerk. So, thank you. Okay, we are here for our October 16th, 2018 meeting of the Maplewood Township Committee. I'm going to run through the agenda real quick. We have two proclamations. One is the LGBTQ History Month, and the second is Bullying Awareness Month. After that, and Mr. Daffis will deal with both of those, and then after that, we will introduce our new Community Board on Police, and we'll have you come up there and smile and take a picture of you all. Then we'll have our public comment session, our first one. If anyone would like to make a comment, all we do is ask you to come up and give us your name and your address. Then we will deal with a number of ordinances on final passage. So we have 2, 4, I believe it's 7, 5, 6, 6. And then we have one ordinance on new. The ordinances on final passage, most of them deal with our affordable housing requirements. And this is adopting our land use procedures, adopting some changes to redevelopment area 2, adopting changes to redevelopment area 1 and 3. We do have an ordinance that doesn't deal with affordable housing, and that's on increasing the sewer fee for 2019, 20, and 21 by $37. It's a capital improvement charge for those 3 years. And we'll come back to a final passage on an ordinance that deals with the housing development fee. And we have an ordinance that we're going to be dealing with, again, on the amending the zoning articles for our affordable housing. Lastly, we'll be introducing a new ordinance, and that new ordinance deals with partial payment of municipal property taxes. Then we have, 11 discussion items. First, we'll be discussing term limits on serving consecutive terms for Township Committee and committees. We'll be discussing the Maplewood PBA 5K run. We'll be talking about village parking times, lot names, and wayfinding. Our fourth item is the Superior Officers Association grievance. Number 5 is reestablishing Welcome to Maplewood. 6 is we'll be discussing a draft redevelopment plan for 104 Baker Street. 7 will be asking to serve as the lead agency for a Sustainable Jersey grant program for the Sustainable Essex Alliance. 8 will be talking about doing a survey of our township boards and committees. 9 will be talking about the process moving forward for an additional liquor license for the town. 10, we'll be talking about state legislation on single-use paper and plastic bags, plastic straws, and styrofoam. And 11, we'll be talking about electric volunteer form. Have a consent agenda with 8 items. We will be approving a corrective action plan for our 2017 audit. We'll be setting up fees for vital records. We'll be submitting an application for New Jersey Department of Transportation dollars to renovate Burnett Avenue between Springfield and Florida and to do some other work. We'll be authorizing the payment of bills, authorizing an agreement with our ambulance billing company, and we will endorse the amended housing element and fair share plan of the master plan. Lastly, we'll be approving the open and closed meetings of October 2nd. We'll have our second public comment period. We received a report from the finance officer, and we will then have administrative reports from elected officials. At the conclusion of the open meeting, we will be going back into closed to deal with some contractual, some negotiation items and some personnel items. So we have a busy night after we're done here. So we're going to move forward, and I'm going to ask Mr. Daffis if he would deal with the first 2 proclamations on LGBTQ History Month and Bullying Awareness Month.
Thank you, Mayor. Seeing that we have members of the community here, I think I'm going to go ahead and read both proclamations in their entirety for the record, and bear with me, please, as I do that. So the first proclamation is proclaiming October 2018 to be LGBTQ History Month. Whereas lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people have made numerous important contributions to society, and whereas LGBTQ people have served as prominent political leaders, military leaders, civil rights organizers, artists, writers, teachers, lawyers, doctors, scientists, researchers, corporate leaders, and in other key roles throughout our state and our nation's history. And whereas recent research has shed new light on these contributions and has increased all of our understanding of LGBTQ people and their history, and whereas October commemorates the first National March on Washington for LGBTQ rights in 1979, and the second National March on Washington for LGBTQ rights in 1987, and whereas LGBTQ History Month was founded by high school history teacher Rodney Wilson in October 1994, and was declared the inaugural Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender History Month, and whereas the National Education Association has supported LGBTQ History Month since 1995, and whereas Maplewood is a diverse and inclusive community in which our residents take great pride in our diversity and believe in the safety, prosperity, equality, and hope for all who live and work in our town, and whereas the people of Maplewood recognize the human rights of all citizens and support to end all forms of prejudice and discrimination, whereas LGBTQ residents have made important contributions to the history and quality of life of Maplewood, and whereas the Township Committee of the Township of Maplewood remains committed to promoting equality and fostering welcoming and supportive environments for all, whereas all citizens will benefit from a better understanding of LGBTQ history. Now, therefore, I, Dean Daffis, Committeeman of the Township Committee of Maplewood, on behalf of Mayor Victor DeLuca and the entire Township Committee, do hereby proclaim October 2018 to be LGBTQ History Month in the Township of Maplewood, and encourage all of our citizens to join in this observance. An equally important proclamation, Bullying Awareness Month and School Violence Awareness Week. Whereas in October, students, teachers, leaders, and community members gather across the country and in the Township of Maplewood to bring awareness regarding ways to combat bullying, harassment, and intimidation. And whereas bullying is a preventative social ill with long-term negative effects in society, with 1 in 5 youth reporting being bullied at school. And whereas Safe Schools Action Network, along with other community organizations, have come together to help create safe schools and spaces for all students and families around bullying. And whereas such gatherings increase the public awareness of this problem and discuss alternatives to change the climate and culture of bullying, harassment, and bias that is adversely affecting our youth. Now, therefore, I, Dean Daffis, Committeeman of the Township of Maplewood, of the Township Committee of the Township of Maplewood, along with Mayor Vic DeLuca on behalf of the entire Township Committee of Maplewood, do hereby proclaim October as Bullying Prevention Month and October 15th through October 19th, School Violence Awareness Week, and call upon the residents of the township to join us in increasing public awareness. I see a lot of parents here about ill effects of the behavior we know as bullying, and work together to help create inclusive, safer schools and spaces for all students and all families. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daffis.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next up, I'm going to ask Mr. Lembrick if he will introduce the members of the Maplewood Community Board on Police.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. It is my pleasure, my privilege tonight to be able to introduce to the community 4 of the 6 members who've been appointed to the Maplewood Community Board on Police. The other 2 are out of town this week and we're not able to attend tonight. But if the others could come up, Erin Scherzer, Tasha Pikars, Ian Grodman, and Michael Paris. You could come up.
Why don't we go down and take a picture with them?
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
do a photo op here. Where's Sonia? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Let's go on the other side of this. Let's go over here.
Where are we going? Oh, in the front.
All right, we're gonna
There's too many people.
We know how to do pictures. Why is this hidden?
I should probably be near the back. In the back. I'll be behind Nancy.
Yeah, get behind Nancy.
Come on in, guys. Okay.
Is this good?
We see Natalie, hold on, Michael, I think we're watching our.
Thank you, everybody. Want to say anything else?
Yeah, so I'd like to thank the members who are here tonight, as well as Susan Berkeley and Julie Fry, who could not be here tonight, who are undertaking a great service to the community on this newly formed community board on police, and we on the Township Committee are very much looking forward to the work you're going to do. Committeeman Daffis and I are very much looking forward to being your liaisons, and I know Deputy Chief Sally, Chief Duvall, and all of the Maplewood Police Department is very grateful for your service and looking forward to your recommendations and your work as well. So thank you very much. This is part of our ongoing effort to transform the culture of the Maplewood Police Department. And we've already started that work, but I think this will be an important step to continuing that work and to keeping it going to make sure that our police department continues to better serve the residents of all of Maplewood. So thank you.
Mr. Daffis, would you like to say
Yes,
something?
Mayor, thank you. I also applaud the new Maplewood Community Police Board. I'm really